Welcome to the ECDL Word Processing module, section 3.1.5. Apply case changes to text. What do we mean by case changes? Well, if we have a look at this document here, it might become a little bit more obvious. Think of case as uppercase and lowercase. My first paragraph here is written entirely in uppercase. This second paragraph here is written entirely in lowercase. Don't worry for the moment about the third paragraph. I'll come on to that in a moment. Now, it's possible that you accidentally left your caps lock, your capital lock button on your keyboard. And as you were typing away, you ended up writing entirely in uppercase, like this. Now, often if you start writing in uppercase like that within a document, Microsoft Word will guess that that's a mistake and will automatically correct it. But of course, you could have written this in a different program, not necessarily in Microsoft Word. You could be using an older copy of Word, a different word processor entirely, or use that so that it is written in normal, not lowercase, but sentence case. We don't want it changed to lowercase because we'll still have the problem of all our capital letters being missing at the beginning of sentences. So how do we quickly do that? Well, it turns out there's a really useful tool in Microsoft Word. I recommend even for not just worrying about the ECDL exam, just anyway, make yourself familiar with it. And it is the change case tool, surprisingly enough. I'm going to highlight this paragraph here, and I want to change this to sentence case. So what we do, we're changing the formatting of the font, effectively. So we come to the Home tab, we find this font section here, and what you're looking for is a button at the top right that has a capital A and a lowercase a together. Now, people often mistake this for these two buttons here, where you've got two capital letters next to each other. So make sure you're looking at the one with an uppercase A and a lowercase a together. And as ever, if you're not sure, hover the mouse over the button for a moment, and a little tooltip will pop up, as you can see here, that tells you, yes, this is the change case button. Click on this, and you'll be given 5 different options. And they pretty much speak for themselves. So sentence case will change all of your writing to lowercase except for the first letter of each sentence, which it will format as uppercase. The second option, of course, formats all text to lowercase. The third one changes it to all uppercase. And then we have this option here, capitalize each word. And that's useful for titles where every word should begin with a capital letter. So titles, addresses, things like that, where every single word should begin with a capital letter, this is a useful option. But for this paragraph, I want to change it to sentence case, so I'll click on that. And you can see that it's all lowercase except for those letters at the beginning of a sentence. So Microsoft Word understands what we mean by sentence. It understands and can recognize those, and every single word at the beginning of a new sentence starts with a capital letter. So in one click, we've changed that text to the correct format. Same here, this is all lowercase, so rather than going through manually looking for the first letter of every new sentence and changing that, we can simply triple click inside the paragraph to select it, come up to the change case button and select sentence case. There we are. And you can very easily change between these, so you can make that all uppercase if you wanted to use uppercase, lowercase, but in this case, pardon the pun, sentence case. Here's my title. And usually for a title, you'll have every word beginning with a capital letter. So what I'm going to do is highlight this title and then come up to the change case button and select capitalize each word. Now click on that and you can see that each word now begins with a capital letter. So it's looking quite smart. But what on earth is going on with this paragraph here? We've got a mixture of uppercase and lowercase letters. It looks bizarre. What sometimes happens is people press the caps lock button and they switch caps lock on, but they don't then look at the screen while they type. They're a sort of hunter pecker. In other words, they look at the keyboard and they look for where the keys are, and they stare down at the keyboard the whole time rather than looking up at the screen. Fair enough, I'm not going to criticise that, but there was a problem. Because if your caps lock key is on, then all the letters you're typing thinking they're lowercase are going to be uppercase. But then whenever you go to type a capital letter at the beginning of a sentence and you hold the shift key down to type that capital letter, what you're actually doing is typing a lowercase letter. So you can see here that all of the letters at the beginning of sentences are lowercase and the rest of it is uppercase. It's a complete nonsense. So what I'm going to do here is triple click inside this paragraph to select it, and then I'm going to come back up to the change case button, and this is where toggle case comes in. Toggle case doesn't seem to make much sense until you realise the mistake you've made with keeping your caps lock button on, and this will literally toggle all the lowercase letters into uppercase and toggle all the uppercase letters into lowercase. So it'll switch them over. Click on that and straight away it all makes sense. I could have chosen I could have chosen sentence case. That would have been great. The reason that wouldn't have been sensible, I'll show you why, would be, let's say I'm typing ECDL here, and I've held down the shift key with my caps lock button on, so ECDL comes out as lowercase. It should be all uppercase, it's come out as lowercase. Now if I was to highlight this paragraph and choose sentence case here, you see it doesn't actually work very well at all. ECDL is still lowercase here. It's a bit of a mix. It's not working very well at all. If however I choose toggle case, you can see here it is, ECDL is written all in capitals. Because it was all lowercase, it's now all uppercase. It's literally swapped them over. So if you're using acronyms and abbreviations like that, then toggle case makes more sense than sentence case does. Now there won't be any trick questions in an ECDL exam, there never are, but if you are asked to change case, remember it's this button here, and remember the main purposes. The two that you're going to use most are sentence case and capitalize each word. Maybe you've been given text which is all lowercase or all uppercase, and it asks you to format that so that each sentence begins with a capital but all other letters are lowercase, so you know sentence case is the one. If it asks you to format an address, say on a letter that's been written with lowercase letters only, and it asks you to format in a suitable way, then obviously you know capitalize each word is the correct option, so that road names, town names, people's names and titles, they all begin with a capital letter, so that's the one to go for. So these two here, capitalize each word and sentence case, these are the two to remember for your exam.